So good morning, everybody. Sorry for speaking English. My Russian and Ukrainian, I would say, are non-existent. And so today I'm happy to discuss with you and present a new technology that we're adding to MateCat. It's an opportunity because this technology hasn't been released yet, so I'm presenting it to smaller audiences to get the feedback before official launch. Unfortunately, I think that there are many translators also in the other. Not unfortunately, I'm happy of this, but the presentation is a little targeted for language service providers. For this reason, what I decided to do is basically go through the presentation quicker than expected and leave room for us to discuss and have questions about the product. And eventually, if the Wi-Fi even works, now trying to show you a few things if required, directly online on the tool. So, just starting from the motivation, why we started developing MateCat. So MateCat is a free and open source translation tool that integrates machine translation. So the motivation why we started it was first because machine translation was very poorly integrated in CAT tools. Translators were not happy at all in re-editing again and again the same errors. Often there was completely full translation of document and then you have to go there and fix the errors. So we wanted to create a much better integration. So suggesting machine translation only when can add value, and you can start from that, editing and delivering the final result. The second reason why we started is that because email collaboration sucks. Unfortunately, there is no other terms for me to explain that, but email is not very efficient for any kind of collaboration between people. We think that the cloud and being able to work directly, reviewer, translator, project manager, customer, on the same document online is a much better way to collaborate. It's not only about productivity, it's also about privacy and security. When you send an email to someone, to one of your partners or colleague, you're losing control of everything that is happening with those information after it leaves your computer. On the cloud, you have a centralized way to decide who has got access to what information. The last problem we wanted to solve is that because in the Word, everybody is translating again and again the same information. And we're not very collaborating on trying to solve this problem. So if someone on the other side of the word has translated a term and he made that translation publicly available on a website, why should translator go there out and look on that website to try and Google to find that translation and find the parallel page and try to learn it? So we're crawling the entire web to extract everything that has been already translated and create a very large translation memory that is available through MateCat. So no more need to go out and search for terms on the web. This is what MateCat looks like. Actually, it's online, it's free. You can use it both on the web, on MateCat.com, but also you can download it and install it on your computer or server. It supports 68 file formats. I will say that everything that is in the industry. Plus, pretty proud of it, we are the first CAT tool that supports also Google Drive. So if someone created a Google Drive documents or a PowerPoint in Google Drive, or if you have just a file in Google Drive, you can actually translate it using MateCat. So if you use MateCat, what you should be able to expect is that you're saving about 10-20% of your translation cost or time. There is not magic thing behind this. It's just that MateCat is looking at how much you're editing machine translation and establishing how much time you're saving compared to translating from scratch. So by measuring that thing, is able to create a fair rate for post-editing. I'll give you an example. If all translators in the English-Ukrainian language combination are saving about 40% of the time while editing, then MateCat will propose you to discount machine translation by 20%. So you're saving 40%, and basically the rate gets reduced by 20. Why? Because we wanted to create a platform that was supporting both translators and customers in finding a good rate for post-editing. We were seeing too many times that machine translation was very poor and customers were still asking for discount. And sometimes machine translation was very, very helpful. And I will tell you, in English, Italian, English, French, this is very true. I mean, it's helping a lot. And probably no, it was overpaid. So MateCat split the benefit between the translator and the customer and create a fair way to do it. Every time you translate, you're contributing to those metrics. The other value that you will see immediately is that being completely cloud and collaborative, you can handle very complex rush project quickly. You load a project, you split it in 20 different chunks, and you assign any chunk to different translators. Basically, every translator will be able to see what the others are doing, like Google Docs, but it will not be able to edit the other translator area. You get shared TM, shared glossary, and this will help reduce consistency problems that are typical with rush projects. As I said, there will be an increase in security and control. The fact that you create a project in the cloud, you can decide at any time who has got access to this document. And if you feel that there is a problem, you just change password or disable, and magically you're resetting. So it's no longer like email where you're sending the TM, the document, to someone, and then you don't know what will happen next. This is a problem both for LSPs, for customers, but also for translators, that sometimes you will ask help to a colleague for a review, and you don't know if the computer of your partner can be infected by a virus, or you don't know if maybe he will use that information to do something else why he was not supposed to. So shortly, in the last years, we've been developing MateCat to make people more efficient. Efficient is one nice piece of the project. Now you need to be productive, efficient, but it's not only the main thing. Efficiency affects one part of your business, which is reducing your cost, being more responsive to your customer. But we wanted to solve another problem. We wanted to allow you to get more orders, to increase the quantity of work you can do. So what we decided to do is creating a widget for MateCat that allows you to receive orders. If you are a language service provider, you can put this widget on your website, and magically your customer can place order on your website. So it's a kind of e-commerce for translation. They will be able to calculate the words, matching against the TM, getting a real-time quote with price and delivery date, and then assign the work, pay online, and assign the work to you. So it's one way you can get more jobs. This could be useful even for translators, where you can, let's say, disintermediate some of your customers by offering in your website this form that allow customers that are sometimes looking for simplification to go directly to you, because you will offer an experience that is as easy as a translation company. So let's see how it works. So as I said, this is not public yet, but I will give you a link where the audience here can try the solution if you want. So basically this is a fake translation website, Acme, that we get into. So when you do this, you will just get a code that you put in your website to get this button. It can be a button that you put in your website, or it can be just a link, order online with me. So with this link, how to obtain this magic link and what the link will do. So if people will click on that link that you will put in your ProZ account or your translation company website, basically there will be a pop-up appearing like this, where you can pick, let me see, I have it, where you can pick the languages. Here you don't see it, but it's called multiple languages, so that they can pick as many languages that they want. They drag and drop the document. In this case, as a loop, I'm doing the translation of the presentation that I'm doing right now. Okay, so you drag and drop it. It will analyze the document to generate a quote, and will give the end user two offers: one with a standard translator, and one also with a second review from a second translator. This is optional. You can decide what to show. You see, we're saying $49 or euro or your local currency you can specify. And delivery 18 May. Okay, this slide was old, but we'll say tomorrow or the day after tomorrow at a certain time. So the customer will have all the information required actually to decide if to place an order. If they click, they just need to specify their user and password, if they have one, otherwise they will create it. And basically, it's done. The customer will receive an email like this to confirm the order, and you will receive an email specifying your customer details and the link to start the translation. When you click on that link, so 107 words, how much you have to invoice the customer. Basically, when you click on the link, you go directly into the MateCat interface where you can translate the document. That link, you will send it, if you're a translator, you will do it yourself or send it to a colleague. If you're a translation company, you just forward that link to your translators. So how to obtain that magic link? How much information is required to start receiving online orders today? So you log into the MateCat Instant Quote website. You specify your name. Okay, so no other names will ever appear in your communication with your customers. Only your name. The email address where you want to receive all the orders, basically will be your email probably. Then the time zone you are in, so that the system can decide how to predict delivery dates. The services, if you want to offer translation or translation plus revision. And then this is an important thing, you can decide how much to charge your customer. you can decide if you want to charge the full words, like Microsoft Word will do, or if you want to do the discounted words based on the NTM matching. So what we call the equivalent words, a reducer word count based on the matches. So you decide if you want to be competitive in the market, aggressive, or get higher margin by charging the full words. Also, there is something you can do is markup on outsourcing, and I will explain in a second what this means. So when you've done this, you only have to specify your languages that you cover, the price per word you want to apply, and the average number of words you can translate per day, let's say 2,000. And also the startup time. So if you have a new project, how much time we should consider as management time, admin time, for calculating the delivery date. So you fill in all your languages, and then if you go back, basically, for everything that you don't support, so allowing people to be more, to get more orders, is not only about make it possible to bring them into e-commerce stuff, simplifying. It's not only about this. It's also about never say no to your customer. So what happens is that you pick the languages that you do, and then you say, look, for everything else that I don't support, I want to have access to the 185,000 translators that are in MateCat. And I want to specify the markup I want to do on that. So MateCat allows you to have a colleague that you can do the work for you. And basically, if there is a language that you don't support, and that customer is asking for a website in 25 languages, and you can only do 2 or 10, all the other languages, you don't have to say no, because we will help you finding the qualified resources to do this. And you can specify how much margin you want to make on top of this. So if the translator wants $5 per word, basically you're saying, look, I'm adding a 30% on top of this. And this is what it will be shown directly in your online quote. So from today, you're supporting 120 languages. One reason, so for single language vendors, like I've seen many people in this conference that are basically doing Russian and Ukrainian for large MLV. The reason why you do this, because you are specializing in this, but also because you don't cover all those language pairs. And that is a cost. I mean, opening other offices, understanding local negotiation with translators, knowing them, recruiting them, is a big effort. So you're missing one piece of the work. You're very competitive here, but those people cannot order through you because you only support one language. They want to translate the website in 15. So basically, this allows you to get also the other languages. Once you fill this information, you don't see it here, but this is the HTML code that you will have to put in your profile or your website. This will generate the link called get quote. So to make it short, so in the past years, we worked to create MateCat to be a cat tool that was making you more productive. Today, we're starting helping you to get more orders. If you want to try it out, it's here, instantquote.matecat.com. And I think I'm done. Oops.
Fedor Bezrukov, Logros IT. First of all, your product is very similar to, let's say, XTM Cloud. Can you please compare to the nearest competitors and mark the most important differences?
Yes. So not only to XTM Cloud, but I will also say to MemSource, for example. Yeah. In general, we are part of the new generation of CAD tools that are completely cloud-based. Okay, so we're very similar to MemSource, to XTM, to Lilt. What makes MateCat unique, I mean, is an obvious first thing, that is free and open source. Number one. Okay. Number two, and the secret magic, I mean, there is not, and the reason why this is possible is that because we reinvented completely the business model. All these companies are trying to get a license from you, a cost. We don't think that the money in our industry is in software licenses. All the money, $38 billion market, is 37.7 is in services, and only 300 million is in translation technology. So we said, if we make another software not to be with a license, they will slow down innovation. We want to make something free and also very open and transparent, open source. And how we make margin is that when your translators are busy and you are outsourcing to one of the other translators, we take a small commission on that. So by helping you to make more orders, we are approaching a market that is 37.7 billion instead of 300 million. And more people will use MateCat, even open source, and more chances we have that we can solve you a problem in production.
Mutual beneficial, right?
Second question, is it customizable and localizable? For example, can we translate it into several languages and according to language of the site, for example?
Yes, you can do it in two ways. So first, being open source, you go on matecat.com, click open source, you download the code, and you can do the localization, customization, whatever you want if you have engineers. If you don't have engineers or you don't want this to do, we have a business division in MateCat that is called customization division. And what they do basically, they will make you an offer to do the customization. This is also another way we finance the development of MateCat.
And the last of my questions,
Yes,
what MT engines do you support?
So,
And do you support on unit translation, segmented translation, or for example, just set of words translation?
I try to go back. Okay. So the UI, the interaction, is similar to any other CAD tool. I mean, it's a sentence level segmentation. The machine translation. So this project was supported by KIMO, the European Commission. It started as a research project, and it was done by us and the creators of Moses, the statistical machine translation system. So we use Moses in the background. You can connect to any Moses engine that you can create, but also we did something more in the MateCat. We also created a version of Moses that you can use that automatically adapts for every sentence you translate, so that once you fix an error, you don't have to fix that error again and again. So it's dynamic training, machine translation, incremental learning. Also, I have to say that we will provide machine translation for every languages here. So if we don't have an engine for you, we will fall back to Google Translate and Micro Translator Hub, and we are taking care of the cost. Do we want to change and then come back to you? Okay.
What are payment options? Because okay, we've got the order, yes, but how can we be sure that the order will be paid?
Yeah.
So what are the payment options when we receive this magic link?
I just repeat the question since he doesn't have a microphone. So he's asking, if customers are ordering online through MateCat, how can I make sure that I get paid? So you have two options. Option number one is require advance payment. They will pay by credit card. Option two is say, you receive the order, and then you send an invoice to your customer based on your rules. You can send the invoice right away and say, if you pay the invoice, I will continue. You can send an invoice and say, pay me 30% and then I will continue. Or if it's a trusted customer for you, you will say, pay me at the end of the month or 60 days as usual. Up to you.
Marco, in the mission, we're not allowed to use the cloud. It's prohibited. Is it possible to use this software like offline? Because there are 8 translators. It would be wonderful to work on the same document together without having to use Microsoft Link, email, and so on. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure if it's possible if we are not allowed to use the cloud.
Yes. So first about vision. We really hope that, and we're pretty sure that the mind of people will change and will understand that actually the cloud is more safe than any other environment. So this is what we hope in the future. In the short term, we know the problem, so you can download MateCat, install it on your own server inside your translation company and not expose it outside. Or install it on your trusted hosted company, and then having access to translators from outside, from the internet, but it's in your environment. So you have both options. Just MateCat.com, click on open source, download it, and ask your engineers to install it.
Hi Marco, Sergey Yuriev, iLanguage. You mentioned the platforms like XTM and MemSource, and as I know, they have a very similar widget. And this widget mostly used by LSP to integrate with our own websites. And what you are offering is something that individual can benefit from, right? And this is kind of add more complexity, and I see 2 challenges. The first one is fraud protection. Individual is hard to maintain payment, validate clients, and what is the fraud protection tool you have? This one question. And the second question is about, okay, let's...
Can you repeat the first question?
Yeah, fraud protection for
fraud
the
protection.
freelancers. Yeah.
Okay, so as I said also before, when you use this, you can decide to get payments before the order. So you can ask your customer to do the payment through Stripe, so a credit card processor that will take care of fraud protection, and receive the money before you start. Or if it's a trusted customer for you, you can send the invoice after.
And what about you? You are offer e-commerce platform, so how you are protect from fraud by your users?
I will share a little secret with you. So when we started Translated many years ago, we were the first e-commerce in the world to offer payment after the delivery. So we actually don't ask any of our customer to pay directly online. The amount of fraud that we receive is about 0.5% of the revenue per year, but the trust that we give to customer is so high that we increased our conversion rate by 30%. So overall, what we are getting more is much less than this. But it's a personal choice, it's a personal risk that we decided to take. Through this, you can decide the level of risk you want to take, and so the benefits.
The thing is that when you are place this widget to website, you start working with unknown users, so the possibility of fraud might be much more higher, so you need to review it in future. Okay, but my second question, when supplier one provider not supports some language pair and he outsource it to your e-commerce, I think here client expect the same quality for all translated languages. So how you can, what is the approach to find the right supplier, and how, for example, I'm like supplier, and when I order your translation from you, can guarantee clients the same quality for all translated languages? Thank you.
Okay, so first you mentioned that through using the widget, you will get this anonymous, unknown customer. I would like to say that at Translated, by offering online quote, we don't have any salesperson. So no one in the team is doing sales outside. And the customer that we got is Google, Amazon, eBay, IBM, and another 70,000 customers. Some of them are unknown, okay? But we also get great opportunities because you work in a new modern way and you open. So for us, it was very beneficial. We got customers that wanted to disintermediate the entire chain and basically came to us directly. And this was also large account. For the second question, can you repeat it?
Sure. How you can guarantee that?
Yeah, quality.
Yeah, you can provide the same quality.
So
like a
MateCat
vendor.
inside has a nice algorithm that does this. When you upload a document, we know what translators have been translating in MateCat. So we match the quality that was measured by the revisor together with the similarity of context with their expertise. So imagine you have as customer maybe TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor, so you load the project and you don't want to do it, so you will outsource to someone that language. Basically, we know in the database of the 185,000 translators, which means half of the translator on earth, which one has been translating similar context. Probably is a TripAdvisor approved translator because he did many, many words that looks like very similar. This is done through text matching algorithm. It's called in information retrieval vector space model. Something complex, but shortly it will calculate the similarity. When we know the similarity, we know the rating of the translator, because for every translation we do, there is another translator that is looking at the document and say this is good or bad. So we use the two, the similarity and the ratings, to match the perfect translator for you. We think that this algorithm is able to identify translators for a specific job better than any human can do, because human have got a limited memory, and here we have a technology that remembers the performance of 185,000 people.
So does it mean that when, for example, I translate something in your tool, you somewhere already rate me like a translator?
Oh, no. This is our production, our people. So when we do a job for you, so when you outsource something to us, before delivering to you, we evaluate the translator. We don't have the money to evaluate every user in MateCat, and I don't know how to use that information then.
Marco, thanks. We have a question from our online users.
Yes.
And this is Konstantin Dranch from MemSource.
Yes.
And he's asking, the majority of customers, they do not like actually client portals. They prefer, I guess, to send orders by email. And do you have any opinion why? And if there is any change of this in the future?
Well, I will share one number more. So at Translated, 70% of the orders we get are through the online form, and 30% via email. The 30% via email actually is not the new customer, is the repeating customer that already has a relationship with our project manager and will email them directly. So I think that if you look at established relationship, they will come more via email. But the new discovery will often come via an online quote, if the online quote is able to analyze the document, doing raw word count, etc. But if you don't provide this word and file analysis, etc., then obviously they need to email you and say, can you quote this? But if you offer that technology, as we did in the past, then 70% can be actually automated.
Thanks. I guess MemSource is happy with the answer.
Hope.
A lot of questions.
And
Sorry.
by the way, hello, I'm sorry.
Yes. Do you have support of PDF and PDF optical recognition? Because this product is greatly tailored to needs of small LSPs, and they have to deal with a large number of PDF files, often very poorly scanned. So
I don't know if I have a time now for doing the live demo, but yes, we support PDF, normal PDF, Second, we do support OCR, directly integrated into MateCat, and it works in two ways. So you can drag and drop a scanned PDF, and basically we will convert it into a Word file by keeping all formatting, and we use the same libraries that are behind Nuance PDF Converter and ABI Fine Reader. So we'll try to keep the segmentation correctly and also preserve the formatting. Once we do that, you can translate directly the file. Also, you can drag and drop an image. So if the image is a menu of a restaurant, just you take a picture, you drag and drop a JPEG, it will do OCR and let you translate. When you download it, obviously, it will give you back a Word format so that you can fine-tune and then give back to your customer.
Great. Thank you very much.
I've been very lucky up to now with questions.
Yeah.
I hope this one too.
Just following this very question concerning some non-text formats for files. What about some design software, for example, AutoCAD, ArchiCAD, and so on and so forth?
So, yes. So we do have InDesign, Illustrator, AutoCAD, PageMaker, FrameMaker, Quark Express, and 70 formats. And by the way, all the file formats converter was a big job that we did last year. Before that, we were relying on SDL, so the same library that is behind Trados. Then we got into some competition, and basically we decided we have to go alone. So we started working on the Okapi framework, which is a framework for doing conversion, and we invested about $1 million to make Okapi enterprise level and add more file formats.
Sorry, Marco, only one question. Do you have any open source your libraries for conversions, or maybe some working with some formats? You know, it's a big deal. We have a lot of companies out there investing millions of dollars. Maybe we can work together.
Yeah. So in MateCat, just on Google type MateCat filters. You will go to a GitHub repository where you can download just the filter components. So if you get MateCat, it's all integrated, but we also made it a separate component that you can integrate, and you can use it. It's there, open source and free as usual. And if you want to make us happy, we created also an hosted version for the filters that will manage the evolution of filters. So if you convert one file with one release of the filter, then you need to do back conversion with the same release. So we created an hosted version with all the releases, and we keep it. And basically, you pay $300 a month, and you can do as many conversions if you want. This is another way we finance the development of MateCat.
Thank you. If there are any questions more, I guess Mark can answer while coffee break. And thank you very much for coming to the conference again. I guess it was the first time you were presenting while rain drops just above your head.
Yeah, and I would like to thank you a lot, also the interpreters. I tried to speak slowly, but not enough, for sure.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.